This is Python2D. It is a short but very important video and section. In this section, we're learning about comments as a simple data type. And comments are really, really important. You will lose points in each of your assignments if you do not learn to make comments. Comments are a very useful feature in most programming languages. Everything that you've written in your program so far is code. And if you write anything that's not in code syntax, you know it breaks your program. But as your programs get more and more complicated, it's very important that you can add notes within your program that describe your overall approach to the program. What problem does this piece solve? And as you're working on it, you may even want to add notes to yourself, like not done with this part yet, or, ooh, here's the problem, don't know how I'm going to solve it yet, or things like that. A comment is going to allow you to write notes in English within your programs. And those notes are for you as you work through your program. But in the real world, most programmers work in teams, or they hand off their program to somebody else who implements it in a larger package, or an end user who uses it. And all those people need to know what your code is all about. They need to do it quickly. You may be a whole lot smarter than they are. And so the comments allow somebody who maybe doesn't know Python, or maybe doesn't really know what you're trying to do, to be able to figure out what they're looking at. And also, they help me as your teacher identify if you have perhaps submitted the wrong file, or misunderstood the assignment, or just completely failed to achieve what you were trying to do. So they help me know what you were thinking. And as you get working on longer and longer programs, it's helpful to list out in something I like to call pseudocode, the list of steps, the outline of your program, especially when you only get to work on it 4 days a week in class. A weekend comes and you completely forget everything you were doing. It's really helpful to have that list of ideas for how you're going to solve this problem. And then as you go about writing the actual code to solve it, you kind of keep the big picture in mind and you don't get lost. So here's how you do it. Ready? In Python, you simply use the hashtag. Some people like to call it the number sign. It's kind of old school, you know. We used to call it the number sign, but now it's a hashtag. And so you can see where maybe certain other programs were inspired by Python to use this hashtag. But in Python, your hashtag says everything after this is not part of the program right away. So as you can see in this example, the comment explains what the next chunk of code is about to do. Right now, your programs are very short, and so they only do one thing, so you really only need one comment. But you're going to want to have multiple comments as your programs get bigger. So for example, if you're running a conditional statement, an if statement, you want to remind yourself what that if statement does. You might say returns true if this, so that you kind of know, because you may be way down into variables and not sure what's going on. And so a very clear comment helps you organize complicated code. Comments are now required for all the programs that you submit. You need to have a comment in your own words that lets you and me know what you think this program is going to do. As your programs become more complicated, I'm going to ask you to have more comments. This is required. You get credit simply for having comments. Your program might be completely broken. You still get credit for the comments. Your program might be perfect. You don't get credit if you don't have comments. Well, you get some credit, but you will lose points for every program that you submit from 210 on that doesn't have comments. Here are some more examples of comments. And this is what pseudocode looks like. So let's say I'm doing this program and I've got a list of the things that I need to solve. I need to write some code that asks the user for the name of the video game. I need to write some code that's going to open the file of the video game. I need to write some code that's going to find the game in the file and identify if they're the owner. And then I need to write some code that sends a message like, yes, you're an owner. There are tons of examples, but each one of those steps requires me to do some problem solving and write some code out. And so organizing it with this outline lets me know kind of where I am in the process, what I still have to do, what I haven't done, all of that, okay? So this is an example of some pseudocode, and I actually like to start my programs this way. I list what are the things I need to do. And then as I build the code, I've already got the comments there and I just add the code. A lot of students are tempted to write their program and then add the comment, which seems silly. So use comments to outline your program and then fill in the code around them, and that makes the most sense to me. So now you have an assignment to go back, pick 2 programs, add comments, make sure the program still works, and submit them. Don't forget your comments.